Darren Glover, Vice President of Gaming at VaynerSports. I've been in this Web3 space since 2020, and then I've been in the gaming space since about 2017. We're a sports agency at our core, so we represent premier talent across the NFL, MLB, UFC, NIL, and esports and gaming. And then we have a consulting division that helps brands create marketing strategies aligned with their business objectives, specifically inside of sports, NIL, which is the newest form of kind of sports marketing, being able to pay collegiate athletes, and gaming.
I'm curious of the crossover of what you guys are doing with gaming, specifically in Web3, because I know there's some crossover with what you're doing, and you're working with Bryson, who we've had on our channels before, our podcast. So yeah, chat a little bit about what you guys are doing in the vision on the Web3 side of stuff with Vayner.
So when I joined 2.5 years ago, I joined to start the vertical at VaynerSports for gaming. It was going to be called VaynerSports, but we called it gaming to include the larger industry of gaming, where esports is a piece of it, but there's a larger format of gaming as a culture and a lifestyle. So when we signed Booga at VaynerSports and we started this gaming vertical, the idea of it originally was a little bit of like scaling this talent agency out with more talent. The business model of talent representation with esports athletes and gamers, it's not as milked in as what traditional sports is, where you've got middle school, high school, college, and pros. And when you get to the pros, you understand that the ultimate payday is the contract with the organization. On an esports side, that's not it. Like, there's not $1 million contracts for the best players at Rocket League. Like, that's not there. So a lot of those dollars from a revenue side for the business is made through marketing. But a lot of the top esports competitive players aren't content creators. So what does that mean? It means they don't have large social media followings. If you don't have large social media followings as a brand, what am I doing? What am I getting access to? Why am I giving this person a lot of money? You know, now it's like the funnel of talent really becomes a lot smaller, because now I'm trying to find really, really good, skilled, talented gamers who also have really, really vibrant communities and a large social media following. And it was just like the light bulb went off of, like, as Gary was launching VFriends and VFriends was going crazy, and you could tell that Gary was, and AJ, everybody was just so passionate about this new industry. It was like, well, who better to sign the largest creator in this industry than a Gary company? Like, it makes total sense. Why wouldn't we take the risk on the largest creator in such a fun category of Web3? And ultimately, what sold me and everyone else is, like, the gaming industry is a bunch of white guys with brown hair that look like us that play first-person shooter games. Like, that's it. And there's no black people that play video games at a large scale, massive level. Like, there's nothing. There's no one that looks like Bryce that's within the top 1% of Twitch, the top 5%, the top 10%. So being able to have, at the early onset of Web3 gaming, being able to help mold and craft and build a black dude who's super cool with tattoos, that raps on stream, that loves fashion, but who's also playing this new style of game, who's also an entrepreneur. There's just like one of those things. It's like, he's the perfect package of someone to take a risk on. There's no risk. It's an investment. So it's like, for our perspective, it's just continuously keeping Bryson at the forefront to make him that individual that you think about, because that's how Tim the Tap Man, Dr. Lupo, Ninja, you see all these OG gaming creators, they were doing the exact same thing inside of Web2 gaming.
Let's talk about content creators, because earlier this morning you had a tweet out that states, if you're a young, unpolished, small-numbered content creator, you have to check your ego at the door and drain out any and all entitlement you have. You don't deserve anything from anyone, and content creator as a job is not built for everyone. Can you elaborate more on what it takes to be a content creator in the space, and are there any differences between traditional gaming and crypto gaming as far as content creators are going?
It's like being an entrepreneur. Just this idea that, like, as an entrepreneur, like, if us three started a business tomorrow, we're not entitled to $1 million investment. It's very difficult. And I think the hours that it takes to become successful, due to the nature and, like, because of our consumption of content, of, like, why does that guy or girl have 1 million social media followers and they have no talent? And here I am, playing video games, grinding my ass off, engaging with I've been doing this for 2 full years. And I only have, like, there's this level of, like, and like, sometimes that happens. Like, there's just this idea of content creation cannot be driven by money. It's like the same thing with entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs shouldn't be growing businesses because they're excited about the sale of the company. That's not a good way to start your business, because if that's the way that you're starting your business, your decisions are going to be faulty. They're going to be tainted by another thing in your brain that's thinking, if I could make this decision, I can sell it faster, versus this is the right decision to make for the business. Content creators, I think, are the same way. If you want to be a content creator, your ultimate goal can't be, I want to be rich and drive Lamborghinis in LA and be a celebrity. Being a content creator is about creating a very small community of people that love you, that then start to love each other, and you're able to bring together a community of people, and you love entertaining them and bringing them together. Like, it has to be a wholesome start. Stop focusing on making more money. Focus less on making more money and focus more on all the essentials of building a community, and you'll find income and revenue that way versus only focusing on that.
How would you suggest these creators working with projects to approach it with a short and a long-term perspective?
I think more NFT communities and projects have to think of themselves as a business, because that's what they are. And they've got a community and a customer base that are looking for fun opportunities to be a part of, and whatever the promised utility is of that project, you have to start acting like a business and less like a community, that we can't all just hold hands and grow together. Like, I get it. I think that's a great mindset to have. But when a contract gets written, which you have to write contracts in order to do partnerships, there's no wagami rocket ship emojis in my term sheet. I think that's what Web3 is missing right now. It's a component of Web3 that consistently comes up week by week by week, is the unprofessionalism of the owners of these projects that are trying to build, but they're talking to the same people every single day. And it's like, in order for you to really scale and create something special, you have to start operating like an LLC.
I think it's one too where it's tricky for content creators starting out right now. This is a bear market. So I'm curious what advice you have for anyone who's struggling in the bear market to do collabs and sponsorships when a lot of projects don't have funds.
Especially in the gaming side, so many of these early projects are asking for people to promote crypto token ICO drops and land sales. They're not promoting the game, which I think is fine, but I think that's part of the issue. Is a lot of people are falling, to your point that it's a bear market, they're falling to promoting things that long-term hurt their reputation, but it's an easy short-term income generator. So you're going back and forth between, man, I'll take a quick 2,500 to 5K to promote this land sale. But ultimately, when that community member that you told is the best game ever, it's going to be awesome, and again, you're promoting financially driven opportunities. When that project becomes a disaster and a failure, who's that community member going to blame? You, the content creator. So you're now hurting your long-term reputation for short-term opportunities. When the dam actually opens and a ton of people get into the industry, everyone's going to be shaded away from working with you, because your entire reputation the last 6, 8, 12 months has been built on the back of you shilling land sales and ICOs and not video games. And a ton of your community members are getting burned. And now your next sale and your next pitch becomes less desirable for them, because that's all you're selling. And if my last 2 land sales that you sold me were unsuccessful, you think I'm going to buy the third one? You've now lost me as a community member. Right now, your reputation should be the most important aspect of what it is that you're doing. You cannot be financially driven.
I want to touch on, you have so many different sports you guys are covering, you know, football, baseball, combat sports, MMA stuff. So I'm just curious if some of that stuff's moving over, or, you know, anything that you can kind of give us some hints to what's coming for VaynerSports.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cool. I mean, again, like, there's a reason why AJ, one of our co-founders and our current CEO, I mean, there's a reason he started the VaynerSports Pass. So we're the only sports agency in the world, I think the country. We have our own NFT community. We'd love to be a premier agency for sports athletes that understand, I need an NFT community. I want to drop an NFT project, and I know the time and the effort that it takes to put into that NFT community. What Gary has created with VFriends, what we're doing at VaynerSports Pass. I mean, our teeth are as sharp as anyone's teeth. Being able to help those athletes create their own Web3 strategy that they own 100%, but also we offer kind of that in the middle ground, that resting area on the journey to your project that you control on your own. You can do stuff with VaynerSports Pass. Being able to really get an understanding for everything, we're offering that opportunity for them. And then from a esports gaming creator angle, it's the same thing. It's the reason I love working with gaming creators and people in that space is that they're really born as entrepreneurs. That's what they are. Started with one person watching them, and now they've got 1,000. Whatever that growth is, they're a business that sells a product, and that's themselves and the community and the content and all of that. Like, that's their product that they're selling. It's helping them. It's helping them understand that. It's helping them understand values and efficiencies that blockchain can bring to them as an individual with a community of people that are looking to engage with them, but do it in a way that has longevity to it. That's not just a quick, fast-hitting contractual exchange of revenue for a couple social media posts to promote your monkey with a blunt in its mouth. Like, that's not an NFT strategy for a creator. That's a quick, fast-hitting financial reward, which I think the majority of agencies that are representing talent these days that are not endemic inside of Web3, that's how they're monetizing, and that's just not my approach.
Darren, man, you dropped so many golden nuggets of alpha and wisdom. If people are listening and they want to follow you and contact you, what's the best way to do it?
I'm super on brand. This is D Glove, Darren Glover. D Glove is just my nickname. So this is D Glove on Twitter and Instagram. So yeah, I mean, if you actually want to reach out and say something or ask something, I would say probably Twitter or Instagram DMs is probably the easiest.